All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback Reviews Insecure, Season 5, Episode 3, Pressure. Okay. With me, as always, is parts of the Insecure crew. We have Gabby and Raph with us today. So, guys, lot to talk about in this episode. But before we get into specifics, let's just kind of go through and share um, your thoughts on the episode as a whole. Gabby, you go first.
Yeah, so I had to watch this episode twice. Sorry about that. I definitely feel like Lawrence is for sure a fuck boy once again.
Wow,
I'm
Woo!
sorry.
Right. It
out
unpacked
the
a lot.
gate. Out the gate. Fuckboy Lawrence. Here we go. This is gonna be a great episode, guys. I
It
feel it.
unpacked a lot for us on this episode because so we found out Lawrence is the only child, correct? Or did we? I didn't.
We knew that already though.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, we did.
Mhm.
I missed this. Anyways, it goes that kind of was obvious to me in terms of why he's so selfish. But we got to meet his parents. I don't think we ever saw his parents. I have not.
We saw his dad once in like season 2 or season 3, right when him and Issa was going through it a little bit. He went and had lunch with his dad at a diner to get some advice.
Oh, that's right.
But we've never seen his mom. Never seen his mom.
Yeah. So, perfect timing for this episode because, Summer Walker dropped the album.
Oh wow, this is what we're tying into
He's a
this.
fuck boy. I'm not gonna say Lawrence is that much of a fuck boy, but he still is a fuck boy in the innocent way. And I for sure feel like it was a lot in this episode from on both sides, I would say. Even with Condola as well, she has to take some responsibility with stepping into a situation that she knew what it was. Obviously, having a kid, I feel like is like something you don't really know until you actually are in the situation.
On the job training.
Right. But it's like you can somewhat get an idea. I mean, at the end of the day, she knew she was going to be a single mom, right? Maybe not that single, but she knew she was going to be a single mother. So, so it was for sure a lot. I'm happy this happened. I'm gonna let the next person go.
Okay, Raph.
I am shocked and appalled at this claim that Lawrence is a fuckboy from this episode. Like I would love to get some insight, and we are going to get some insight, but damn, that was a strong take to start. And I
out the gate.
Disagree
out the
more.
Gate, boy.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more because like this is crazy. It's blasphemy. Hi Kasia.
I didn't get that.
How are you?
Could you try again?
Oh, that's Siri. Siri was talking about something.
Wait, what? Okay.
We're good. We're good, guys. Live internet show.
Yeah, but I think overall, I think everybody knows from our previous seasons that doing recaps that I am a father. So this was extremely relatable. And going through the process of having a kid and then also having problems with your partner. It was. I think it was a very well done episode. I think it was very realistic, and I think as we get into like where
you went out.
Oh, sorry. Am I still good?
Yeah, you good now. But we missed like
Okay.
the first half of your sentence.
Oh, yeah, no. What I'm saying is I just think that as we get in depth with everything, I could kind of get more into the details of like how, each thing is. I mean, it kind of relates to what I've been through, but like how it all kind of ties in together.
That's why I really wanted you to be on the show because I know, like you said, you're the only one with a kid, so you can speak from firsthand experience. And Kaja, before I let you talk about your overall thoughts, I want to go run down and give a quick recap of the episode, kind of point by point. Um, all right. So we basically start the episode with Lawrence. We start the episode when Lawrence and Issa break up. Lawrence walks into his apartment. It's all packed up. He realizes he's moving to San Francisco. Flash to San Francisco. He's at work, succeeding. He's on a date. While he's on said date, he gets a text telling him that his child has been born. So he hops the first flight. He leaves the date. He hops a flight to LA. So he gets to the hospital to check on the child. And he gets to meet Condola's mom and sister as soon as he walks into the hospital room. And then from that moment, he has a conversation with the greatest character on the show, Chad, to talk about how he's talk about some of the issues that he and Condola have already had in terms of parent getting ready for this baby. And then I'm gonna add Tim real quick. All right, there we go. Whole crew here. Then we talk about they go to some doctor visits, and there's some tension there. There's always a lot of tension between Condola and Lawrence, mainly because of Lawrence's inaction during the pregnancy, whether that was by choice or by force. And so that kind of goes through the whole episode. And Lawrence tries to become super dad, and now that the baby's here, he's trying to take more advantage of, and all these other things. So that's I left a lot out, but I'm thinking we're going to get things when we as we keep on talking. So, Kasia, your overall thoughts on this episode?
Before we get there, because I know the hot take that I came in on but did not hear.
Mm-hmm. Gabby called Lawrence a fuckboy.
Oh,
is that hot? I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's
I think that's an old take.
I mean, I think it's a hot take for this episode to be like he's a fuckboy. Like, where is the fuckboy activity in all of this?
I mean, I think for that we have to define what a fuckboy is. I think some of the first words come to mind are inconsiderate, selfish. Yeah, those would be the first ones. So I'm not mad at it. I think it was a great episode. I think they did a really good job building us up, episode 1 and 2, and this episode not even have Molly or Issa in it was so powerful. I think the dynamic on parenting and co-parenting and just partnership overall was like a wake-up call for a lot of people. So I appreciate that. But yeah, fuck Team Lawrence. Like, I think it also showed that Lawrence really grown as much as we think he has. Like, he's doing better in his career, yes, but is he able to see situations outside of himself? I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we got 2 on the Team Fuckboy side. All right, Tim, welcome to the show.
Hello.
What would be your initial thoughts on the episode?
I wish I had time to watch it again. It was a good episode, really good episode to me. It was a different pace. But like, I didn't even notice it, I don't think, consciously, like, but until Kasia just said, like, Molly and Issa weren't even in the episode. Like, that didn't even like click all the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew it, but like it wasn't even like a thing of like, dang, where was Molly and Issa? Like, it was just really good because I think we didn't get to see Lawrence for real, like to finally get the understanding of what was going on with Lawrence a little bit, and then the Condola situation and all that. It was like, well, we were thirsty for that information, so it was like we could wait on Molly and Issa, until next time, So I really didn't even notice that. So I think that background plot information is what I was interested in for the episode, and I think I was pretty satisfied. I have to rewatch it to kind of understand what I really feel about it, but I think I was satisfied as far as how they told the story.
So let's we have to discuss the pregnancy as a whole. So we know at the end of season 4, Issa and Lawrence were on their way to living in happily ever after, and then Condolences tells Lawrence that she's pregnant. And while she tells Lawrence that she's pregnant, she's like, I don't need you. You can be as involved or as not involved as you want to be. I can do this on my own. Which it seems from the jump that Lawrence is like, okay, bet. Do it on your own. I got the job in San Francisco. I'm going to take the job in San Francisco. You don't need me because if you getting a text that the baby's born, it's obviously that you weren't coming down for doctor's appointments and things like that. So he was very hands off during the pregnancy. So that was decided upon. What was switched up is when the baby was here and he saw the baby, and then the emotions comes in, and now he starts trying to be father of the year. And I think the second watch, I saw a couple things that I didn't even notice the first time, and I think people noticed it the first time, but I didn't. But like Lawrence didn't start building that crib in his apartment till the baby was already there. Like if you had planned on being in that baby's life, you would have had the crib ready you would have had the crib built in your apartment already. Although you know that baby ain't never coming to San Francisco. So why the hell you be why you building the crib anyway?
Never.
So that I think, and also obviously another red flag, or not a red flag, but to show you how much of a disconnect there was between Condola and Lawrence is by the time Lawrence there, they had already decided the name for the baby. The baby was named Elijah
Mufasa.
And God bless Keke Palmer because she played the sister role very great. Keke Palmer was a perfect addition. Issa does a great job when it comes to casting those type of those people. And so that just also shows you some of the disconnect.
What do you mean, you people?
And then, you got the conversation with Chad, and Chad kind of hyping up Lawrence to do some things that Lawrence isn't ready for. And as we go through the episode, you just see a lot of childishness, but from both their parts, from both Corolla and Lawrence. And so, it's interesting. So I'm gonna go around since we got a lot of people. I don't want nobody to overtalk each other. Let's go and say, I don't want to say like what was the most egregious, but what scenario stood out the most to you during this episode? And I'm gonna start with Raph.
At the baby's first birthday party, when Lawrence takes a baby to feed him, and then fed him some extra, some solids, and Condola decided to spaz out because of that, and then it turned into a public thing that shouldn't have really happened. I think she overreacted, and this is just so in that sense, in this happening, I literally just went through this like a week ago. Like I deal with this all the time as a dad, so like but basically it's like if you don't go and get approval, like it's like, oh well, why'd you do that? But like we as fathers, it's easy for us to just be like, hey, listen, it happened, like it's cool, like nothing happened, so we're good. And now in speaking to my daughter's mother, she's like, oh yeah, you say that, but like if something would have happened, you would have been like, oh, what do we do? And then it's like, well, what the fuck are you talking about, we? Because you are the one who fed without even asking. Like, and I think that's where it comes down to like the different mindsets of a mother versus a father. There's maternal instincts that kick in during the pregnancy, and that kind of just set in, and when the baby is born, then it just it's full blown, whereas a father kind of never really gets that. And it's two different perspectives, but I think the arguing of everything, I think it could have been handled a lot better. I don't think they needed to get loud per se, but I think it was just a real distraction and a really bad timing for where they were.
I feel that. I feel like it could have been handled better. I think my only counter argument to that, Roth, it's like, I don't know you that personally, obviously, but like even in filming this show, like I've seen you be in your daughter's room before, like I know how involved you are in your daughter's life just from like what I've seen in this podcast. I don't know if Lawrence has ever fed that baby before. So I think it was just like, I don't think I can say she had an overreaction where she's like, has he even fed the baby before? Like he's around 2 hours a week, like, and he's not, from what she was saying, he's not really asking questions in the middle of those times between seeing him, where she's like, you really don't know. You aren't here. You don't know. You pop in and out. Like, you aren't involved. So I think it was a lot, and I think it could have been handled better and should have been handled somewhere else. But like in my mind, he's never even fed that baby before, and he was just going what he thought he should do at the time. It's like you don't really know this being. Like your child, you don't know your child. You know your child for 1 or 2 hours a week when you pop in. So,
I mean, that to that point, like I understand what you're saying, but it's like having a kid is literally on the job training. Like you can read as many books as you want, it doesn't really matter. So it's a learning process as you go. And like there's stuff that I wanted to do and I was like, oh, I'm willing to try this stuff and just, and not consult, because like I get it, it's a partnership, but like I'm trying to learn as well. And it's not like, and what if she's not there? Like I'm gonna like, I can't stop for every single thing and be like, hey, listen, so what are we doing with this and whatever. Like I kind of have to learn as well. So I see where Lawrence is going, and I see your point. Like, yes, he hasn't been part of this, but he wants to kind of do it himself and not have his hand held throughout this. And I think that's what dads kind of strive for, is to be able to take care of their child without their mother's help, because there is so much connection to the mother from the time that they come out that we can't do. Like that whole breastfeeding, the process of breastfeeding is a real connection. I mean, you can even go before that, is like the umbilical cord of like them being connected and them being like the baby being inside. Like the connection is so real there, and a dad really wants that when the baby comes out, because he doesn't have that. So he's doing everything he possibly can to try to get closer to what the mother has with the child. And I think that's where that kind of comes from.
And to speak from a woman's point of view, like I could see why she was so protective. Like, first off, that's a baby and it's your first child. So you're gonna be like, no. Like, and like Kasia was saying, like, if he was a dad who seemed interested in that, like there are things you can do to be involved before the child gets here some kind of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of know when a guy is excited about you having a baby. Lawrence was never excited about this baby. He didn't really want to be there. Like he said, he got a text message and he was on a date. So he was not that involved in the whole process of it. And coming in, like Condola said, you haven't asked questions. You don't even seem inquisitive about this whole process at all. You don't even text me to see how we're doing. You only want to do this when it's convenient for you. So you have to, that also goes into play of, so what kind of father are you going to be to this child? Because it's not just about you. Like, whereas a mom, she's thinking about that baby and he's thinking about him, what he's going to look like. It's just like him type of thing. And it's like, it's more to it than just that. So I get what you're saying, but from watching Lawrence, it seems like he just, the way he's trying to learn it, like you have to be more careful. It's a child. It's not a video game. You just pick it up when you want to. Like, if you're going to be in it, you got to be in it. And so there was no sacrifice from him. Like, I know I watched my best friend in college, she got pregnant and, the dad wasn't there. And I remember like one of the nights when she brought the baby home, he came one night and tried to be a father, or take on father duties. And she was like, she fussed at him and she was like, I've been doing this for like 5 minutes, 5 days or something like that. And it was like, that's not a lot of time, but that is a lot of time. You know what I mean? Because it's long nights, it's a lot of work with the baby. And if you're not there doing it, like you said, it's on the job training. So come get this training before you try to just go do the job on your own. Like, I have to see, as a mom, like I can only imagine how protective you're going to be. Like, you want to make sure the person knows what they're doing with your child before you just be like, okay, yeah, go ahead, take them. Like how you're trying to take the baby for 5 days or whatever, a week. Like, I haven't seen you with my baby, so you're not gonna just take my child. So I just feel like Lawrence and like homeboy pulled him aside and told him like it's more to it basically. Like you're not looking at this holistically. You're looking at it from an approach of just you. So
to that point, Ralph, I think I have a question for you. When you were talking, as Gabby were talking, to me, it became a thing where it's just like, I think it's like the natural human thing, but like how much of it becomes about you and how much of it becomes about the baby? Like at what point is it like a pride thing from both the mother and the father to prove I know what's best for this being, you know? Like I've never thought about that because I don't have a kid, but I can see how it comes to a thing where I think even the whole my baby thing is like, it's a pride thing. It's like, no, I know what to do best for this person more than you know what to do. And that just starts this like confrontation because it's just like, no, it's both of our babies at the end of the day. But like how much does that play into it?
A whole lot. I feel like, so in my situation, so like we're not together, so like it's a thing where like a lot of it, like, so when my family like applauds me for like, oh my god, like, you know, she's so smart and whatever, like I have a conversation with my family and like her mom will be around and then she'll be like, oh, you know, it's crazy how they, you know, they give you all the credit for, you know, all this, you know, the fact that she's smart and all this other stuff, but like she's with me all the time. And I'm just like I don't want to get into that kind of argument, but like it's a thing because it's like if you're spending more time with, she lives with her, so like I'm not gonna take that away and be like, hey, listen, you know, it's a split home is never great, like switching times and having clothes here and clothes there and all of that stuff, obviously with a schedule. So like I'm not going to remove her from that situation, and I'm happy that she is in that situation. And I do give her credit for everything that she does because she is with her all the time. But like I'm trying to play my part and do what I can do in a supportive role because I mean she's 7 now, so like I think we've kind of come to the realization of like where we stand and everything else and how I contribute to like her growth. So it's more of a partnership, I mean, as it goes along, but it's a lot harder when there's trouble from the beginning. Like coming into in Lawrence and Condola's situation, the fact that Lawrence didn't even want to have a baby, and then Condola wants to have this baby, and it's like a surprise, and it also to the one point where like when they have the argument at the end and he was like, well, you ruined like my whole, you know, like everything with this. Like it's a fucked up thing to say, but he's not wrong in what he's saying because he wasn't you made a face, but what I'm saying
I'm gonna let you finish.
In his mind, he's not the thing is guys get a lot of heat for saying exactly how they feel, but then when they don't actually say how.
Can y'all hear Rob? Is it just me?
No.
Okay. I really want to hear what he's about to say because I have so many thoughts.
Exactly what he said. So
Ref, you went out. So say it again.
He didn't want this, and it's kind of like he had to move away. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't hear.
You went out for like
catch. You went out
20 seconds.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay.
So after you were saying like I think women want men to say what they're thinking, but then they say it and it cut off after that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, wait. I didn't hear anything because it just cut out.
Wait, all right. Technical difficulties.
I feel like I was getting the gist of what you were saying, so I'm going to pose a question to you. And Jamal, please still come in to do your show. But I have a really hard time with the...
Had to step out for a minute, dog. That
You
beer,
got me put down without even telling us. I was like,
the beer hit this. The beer hit the stomach wrong.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Had to go, had to go
But
fly
no,
that coach real quick.
I have a problem with him saying that she ruined his life and even him feeling that way because she did not put that baby in herself. So putting it all on her and saying that, oh, well, you ruined my life. Sir, you ruined your life.
Counterpoint.
Compared to me.
Counterpoint.
But also, you cut off after that. So I don't know what you said. But that was my only thought.
No, what I was saying was that I think guys get attacked for, when especially in relationships, for expressing their feelings, like not expressing their feelings because women want that. But then when we express our feelings, like, and put it out on the table in a situation like that, like he said exactly how he felt. It was very blunt. And then it's like, oh, fuck him for saying that. Like, that's terrible. You can't say that. But like, I'm all about honesty, and I understand where he's coming from in that situation, because if you look at the way last season ended, like it was almost everything was lining up exactly the way he wanted. It was like, yo, boom, like I broke up with that, and then now I got Issa back, and now I got the job, and like it's all falling into place, and then it's like, boom, like you know, like seriously now, like out of all the time, and yes, you're right, he put that baby in her, but like, do you understand? Like it's a 50-50 situation when it comes to, are we having this baby? We
I
being
think
the ultimate word, underline, highlight, circle, everything. We. So for her to say, oh, well, I'm going to have the baby and I don't need you if you want to do whatever you want to do, it's not realistic. I'm sorry. Like, most men aren't going to sit there and just be like, oh, all right, cool. Like, go ahead, do your thing. And I know that's what he said, but it's not realistic for when the baby comes for you to just be like, oh yeah, listen, I'll send over some bread and that's it.
I want to
It's
say
not.
this real quick. I'm gonna say this real quick. Because obviously I had an issue, so I caught the tail end of what everyone was saying. But I'm the whole comment of you ruined my life or you blew up my life. I feel that he feels that way because there wasn't a lot of control on his part. She told him she was pregnant and she was having the baby. There was no conversation. I'm pregnant. I'm keeping it. Boom. You can do X or you can do A or B. Be a part of it or not be a part of it. And he decided to not be a part of it, but obviously he started changing his mind. And so now it's like, well, and I think they called it Alex called it like the good black guy syndrome or something, where it's like, shouldn't I get credit for trying? I should get credit for doing what I'm doing. I should get credit for this and credit for that. And so that's kind of the role that he's playing. Like, don't you see me trying? I come down here every week. I come like, you don't want to leave your baby with me, But he's wrong in that. But also, and this is a very unpopular take. If you didn't want to have nothing to do with the baby, then don't have nothing to do with the baby. Like if you made that decision when she got pregnant that I was gonna leave and you and that baby can do what you want to do, then that's it.
I respect that. Keep that same
Like,
energy. And I think that's the problem.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Keep
that's it. Like you can.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Here's my thing. People, even when you're like adopting a child, like when somebody puts a child up for adoption, there's a grace period for somebody to change their mind. The day the baby was born, the man was there and he wanted to find out how he can connect more. There was not a welcome open arms for him there at all. There was people trying to make sure that he wasn't there and being judgmental based off of what happened in the past, based off of what they as a couple had said. She orchestrated the scenario in which, from his perspective, only this is not my perspective. I'm just talking from his perspective of, hey, you decided that you wanted to have this child. You didn't communicate this with me before we can have a conversation. And so you're telling me these are the stakes. Boom. And then so when the child is born, it's still like she's in control. She's running the playbook. But in reality, again, this is a we thing. If you like want to bring that context back up, it's like, where is his peace in the whole thing? Now he wrong on all the levels that y'all done brought up about him being wrong. I ain't arguing none of that. I'm just talking about this perspective right here. Like, where is it that he has some kind of ability to like
Contribute.
Yeah, like where is the ability for him to have say so at any point in time, because it was never there from conception until, like birth. He came the first day, y'all, he was there.
And so I also want to say there are spaces in between the places where they are.
Yes.
Lawrence was ready to jump from 0 to 100, and you take the example of him getting the baby and wanting to have the first sleepover with the baby or the first overnight with the baby, and Condola say, I don't feel comfortable right now because the baby's fussy. Right before that whole conversation scene in the kitchen, it was like there was a lot of things that you could have done in that situation. If you already had the rental car with the babysitter in it, and you had a place to stay in LA that would have been that you could have took the baby to. But if the baby's fussy or whatnot, like, just spend the night over there. Like, hey,
that's what I was thinking.
Let me spend the night. Let me sleep on the couch. Let me help put him down. Then whatever. So then maybe in the morning we can try this all over again. Or instead of just riding, going back to the airport, getting on the plane, and going back to San Francisco.
And that's another reason why I do say Lawrence is a fuckboy. And I feel like even his own friend called him out. Like, Condola is literally, from my point of view, taking what is best for the child, or like trying to center things around the child. And Lawrence keeps centering things around himself. Like, all he had to do, I mean, granted, it's her place, so she could have offered, which I think she wanted to, low key. When I watched it the second time and I watched that argument, I'm like, did she want him to stay? Because
no, she didn't.
Like,
no, she did not.
No, before the argument, when
she still didn't want him to stay. She didn't want him to stay.
I think she was getting. I was feeling that from her, like possibly because it was like
she really wants this man to have nothing to do with the baby.
Because
she should just tell him to stay the hell away. She needs to just say, look, she doesn't want him to have anything to do with the baby.
I don't get that. I don't get that completely, because she even opened the door for him to go to the birthday party with her. Like, she could have just left him out of it.
That's what I feel what you're saying, like, Gabby. I just think she's wounded, but I think she still wants him though.
She's confused. I mean, honestly,
I don't see it.
Think about it. All your hormones. So of course she probably is going through some type of postpartum, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of that, and as a woman with your hormones raging, like, because y'all don't understand us when we're fussing at y'all and things, y'all think, oh gosh, she doesn't want me, like, no, it's not. It's actually the opposite most times. Like, where we want you to initiate being on your shit though. So I feel like if Lawrence would have came at it the right way, she would have been more open to it. She opened up the conversation for him to even come to the birthday party with her. That was a big step. That's why they showed that text thread, I feel like, because I do think she does want him some kind of way to be involved. But
I feel like
now go ahead, Kay, you got it.
I feel like she meant what she said, and that she's keeping that same energy. If you're going to be involved, be involved. If not, that's cool. So I don't think it's a desire thing of like, I really want him involved or I don't want him to be involved. I just need you to be consistent. So if you're going to be involved, be involved. Know what color the baby's poop is. Like, know these things. Like, know what's going on in his life. But if you're not going to be involved, don't hop in and out.
Well, that's what she said. She used what she said. I can't trust you. I can't trust that you're going to do the things that I need you to do. And Gabby, the birthday party thing was a little bit before the blow up in the kitchen, and so like maybe at that point she was still kind of confused and trying to figure out what is going to be. I also think she went to that birthday party to try to show off and try to like not impress, but show Issa and Molly, like, this is, I got Lawrence, I got the baby, this and that. I think she had ulterior motives with that, because why wouldn't Issa and Molly be at their birthday party? But
so that was a point. That was a great point, by the way. Why aren't they?
I was wondering why they weren't there.
Yeah, something happened at the birthday party, because then something happened before that, which we'll find out. Because Kelly said she's not drinking no more. She said Kelly died, which I thought was an homage to the thing at Stanford, because they thought she was dead at Stanford. But then she said, "I'm not drinking anymore."
That was
maybe
that was. I could have sworn that's what it was. Like
But did that stop her from drinking? I think there's going to be something that shows us why she stopped drinking.
How
Anyway,
she felt about like at the end of the episode, you know.
okay, I could be. You're right. I might have just missed all of that. But also back to Cara Dad and Lawrence in the conversation about how like the trust thing is huge, and Lawrence hasn't been doing much. Like even the christening. The christening was a great example. Like she's like, we got it set up at this church that we kind of go to, but then Lawrence like, well, my mama didn't want to do that. But the easy thing is to just do 2 christenings. You can't bless a baby enough. Just get blessed in the Catholic church, get blessed in the Baptist church. That's the easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's not easy. That is not easy.
We can have 2 parties.
But is it not easy for the baby, or is it not easy for the parents?
Right. Who is it not easy for?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like at the end of the day, who are we thinking about? Because that's what I feel like Lawrence is doing. He's thinking about himself. It's like my, me, and
definitely not easy for the parents.
It's not.
But
I used to have 2 birthday parties. It didn't bother me. Shit, that made me happy. If anything, my parents did not rock with each other like from the drunk. So I had to split everything, and it didn't like it was.
Yeah, but the kids look at it as a win because in the moment they're like, oh, I get 2 of these. Like I get 2 parties. Like who wouldn't want 2 parties? But like, I mean, from a parent standpoint, that's just not like it's not cool. Like you want to have like you're gonna have a party, and your mom's throwing it, and then your dad's not there, and you're like, wait, hold on, but where's my dad? And then now I got to go to my dad's party, and then my mom's not there. Like it takes a while for a kid to understand what's actually happening.
Down the line for sure. But we talking about this toddler. And also, one thing I got to get off my chest about this, and this one reason why Lawrence really pissed me off this episode. And y'all know Lawrence, my guy. I was Lawrence for Halloween. You know what I'm saying? That's my dude. The baby's name is Elijah. And he keeps calling the baby Ja.
Calling them 12. Why is he calling them 12?
It's either Eli or Elijah. It's not Ja, my nigga.
But I appreciate them showing the major disconnect. Like they are so unconnected that they call the baby 2 different names. Like they are so not on the same page that they don't even recognize him as the same person.
Who even looks at the name Elijah and says Ja?
Ja.
Right. I was wondering that too. I'm like,
nigga, you talking to God? Anyway.
So into that point in the disconnect, because Keisha, what you asked me earlier about like the pride thing about like, oh, that's my baby and everything. If you really pay attention throughout this episode, they never said our baby. Every time they spoke, it was give me my baby, or oh, let me have my son, or this and that. It was always my, and never our. And what they don't understand, and obviously they're, butting heads about this whole thing, but they need to get to the point where regardless of anything, it's both of y'all baby. Like it's always going to be our. So and I think at the end of the episode, obviously with Lawrence having a scare and realizing, oh, well, I could have just died. I need to do better and figure this situation out, and how I can be there for my son. Now I think that's where like he kind of realized like it's more so about like that's our kid. So how can we do our best for him? I think that's really what it came down to.
Tim, I ain't heard your voice in a minute. What you got to say, brother? Give me something.
I just would love to see how, in general, in life, and maybe they give us an example. But what is the solution in this scenario? Because it's just like it's a struggle, like on both sides. And if people are going to, there has to be better ways to communicate. There has to be better ways to like co-parent, and make sure that a child has the best of both worlds and everything is about that child. Like the hurt between the relationships of the parents isn't toxic over the child's relationship or leading the whole relationship between the parents. And so like I would just love to see um us come up with a solution. Like I would love to see the show kind of touch on like what they thought a solution would look like. I hope we get to see that.
I think, well, obviously, I think this is part of the thing that spurs him to move back to LA. I don't know if this is going to make a. I don't think this is going to be like a signal of him and Condola getting back together because I think their romantic relationship is just done. I do believe so. I think we'll see that. We'll see him have to make a decision between work and that and trying to be a good co-parent. But also like he has to come to terms with the fuckboy things that he did, and he has to make a decision. And I guess we'll see him in the process of making that decision. I'm assuming, with how involved he wants to be. It also seemed like I don't know. I mean, I can only just look at like personal experiences. I know it's a TV show, and we all project upon it. But like families, like even though if Lawrence ain't in LA, Lawrence's parents are still in LA. So how come they don't have a relationship with the baby? Or, what I'm saying, how come is Condola keeping them away as well? Has Lawrence, even outside of we saw him at the christening, has there even been that much of a conversation between them and that? And maybe it hasn't been. I mean, for the first time he met the girl mama or knew the mama name was when the baby was born. Like they had not been talking to each other. They had not been rocking with each other up until that baby was born. And then Lawrence tried to go from zero to 100. And that's not how it goes.
It's just it's not to. I feel like to speak to what we're seeing him do, it's not giving that his intentions are solely like in the right place. And I'm not saying like on purpose, but I just think it's just some growth because to be somebody's parent, like that does take a lot. A kid is not just, which a lot of people, as we can see, shoot, with some of the kids we have these days, some people just weren't ready to be parents. And that's just the truth. Like being a parent is a lot. And so I don't think Lawrence has taken that seriously. I don't think he's given it as much thought as I think he needs to. And that's what he needs to work on. I mean, just soon as he leaves the child, he's going to get some ass. Like, sir, you could have been with your thing. Like, you could have not canceled your trip and been with your child. Like, it's just certain sacrifices he's not making if he really wants to be in that child's life. Like,
speaking of that,
he has to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice too.
It's been 5 seasons, and they somehow find a way to show Lawrence's ass once a season. Bro, we don't need to see you fucking.
Pause, man.
You're doing it, brother. We understand. We get it. You out here living the life while she over there getting thrown up on. We ain't got to see you, but
I'm like,
listen.
Can we talk about that though?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna go more into like this was a beautifully directed episode. Like it was a beautiful
talk about
episode.
It. Talk
and
about
it was
it.
the same director who directed the Lawrence Eats a Date episode in season 4.
Yes.
I knew it.
Yes.
I knew it.
That
Same
split
pace.
screen.
Same pace.
Yo, I'm telling you, I am
such a fan
of the split screen. The split screen is so well done every time. Oh, chef's kiss.
Yeah, like, we tired of seeing Lawrence ass, but like whoever is
are we, Keisha?
Dudes are
Lawrence. I'm tired of seeing Lawrence. We're gonna just keep it real. Like when that plane got turbulent, I was like, well,
oh man, that's messed up. That's messed up.
Like what?
You trying to kill my
that
nigga?
Might have been dramatic. I was like, I'm not happy. I'm not mad.
I also want to be like, bro, you need to be more a man of your convictions. A little turbulence shouldn't scare you like that, my guy.
That's also what I said. I was
easy,
like, you're literally flying back and forth now. I was like, one, he's getting money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
He's flying like every week. He's getting bread. So shout out to him because the growth on that side of things from when we saw him in season 1, like is like crazy.
he got more bread and he got more selfish.
Yeah,
That
that's
means
usually how it goes. That's
Like
usually
he
how it
got
goes.
more bread and he got more selfish. Like even with the whole "you ruined my life" conversation, you're literally only saying that this baby is only affecting your life. No matter what Condola has going on in her career and her life, it's only mattering because Lawrence got this job in San Francisco. Lawrence is doing better. So like you're ruining my life. That nigga is so selfish.
And another thing to speak to him being selfish. That young lady to learn, I mean, of course she's on a date, but he was saying like that it wasn't the right moment to be on a date. Because if I have to learn about you having a baby,
But he didn't know. He
didn't
didn't know.
The baby came early.
And the baby came early.
No. The baby came early.
If he had
baby came
some
early.
thought, if he had some thought that he was going to go and be a part of this baby being born, he's going to be in the baby's life. Go focus on that. Do not focus on this date life right now.
You can worry about that.
Early.
The baby came 2 weeks early.
The baby came early, and Lawrence was not concerned about that either.
Like I said, he knew he was when the baby was born, he was gonna go back and try to be a part of the baby's life.
Tim, where are you doing?
Because
I'm reaching back for Gabby because Gabby reaches. I just got my hand out to see if she want to grab my arm. It's a reach. I just want to see if she needs somebody to catch me.
That's not.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
I do think that it shows that Lawrence is still focused on living his life, though. To Jamal's earlier point, he didn't build that crib until that baby was older than 4 months old.
Yeah, I'm saying like he built the crib when the baby was here. He didn't baby proof his house. He still got outlets open.
Yeah, I do
all
think
for nothing.
Well, he could have waited. He didn't have to go to the hospital. He could have waited till the baby got home, but he went to the hospital. Did he have to go? No, he didn't.
Maybe he did.
I mean, you would want to be there. Listen, it's a natural thing. When he found out, I think it was a good reaction to go and be there, like in the moment. I think that was a good reaction.
Listen to dating somebody. You still got some shit you need to figure out before you try to date someone else.
Lawrence,
but they've been broken up for how long?
You're going to run into the same situation that you are in now. You're not learning from it. Like, I'm not saying he can't date eventually, but I mean, you need to figure out where you want to be in your life. Are you trying to be a father right now, or are you trying to?
Technically, isn't this all a year removed?
No, it's within the year, but he had made.
This is no. This is a year removed because the baby is 1 now, and at the end of the last episode, or like in the middle of the episode, it says 1 year, or the beginning of the episode, it says 1 year later.
But I think that's episode 2. This episode picked up from Lawrence and Issa breaking off.
This episode picked up from
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, you're right.
It happened within. This all happened within that last year. Within that last year, the baby was born, and then it's like whatever. What about to say? Here's the thing. Lawrence's mind was made up on what he was doing. He wasn't going to be a part of that baby's life until that baby got born. And so he was acting accordingly. He was saying, I don't care, whatever. I'm out here doing my thing in San Francisco. Then he got a guilty conscience when he found out the baby was born and he tried to go 0 to 100.
But that's the thing. That is Lawrence's flaw. You're not ready. Like you either gonna, like she said, decide to be in the baby's life or not. Like you can't just be popping in and out whenever you want to. Whenever you get this little
feeling. It was day 1. He popped in.
No, whenever you get this feeling in your heart, you think it's okay for you to just, I want to be a dad now. No.
It was day 1, y'all. It was day 1. Day 1, he was there.
Yeah, I do feel like you're being a little harsh.
He's not ready to jump into anything else. Like, why are you still trying to be this casual dater? This does not get you anywhere.
There are a bunch of single dads out here casually dating. Come on.
I mean, I don't think that's. I
feel like the date showed Lawrence's priorities. Like, I don't know if it meant that he shouldn't be dating, but I feel like it showed that his mind was not completely focused on here's a baby coming. I feel like it did a good job of establishing that,
because he didn't carry him.
That he was removed. That he was removed from the pregnancy. I think that's what it showed. That he was removed from the pregnancy.
He was out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, exactly.
He was out of mind mode, and then when they
go date, why shouldn't he?
Yeah, I don't think there was a problem.
Okay, so Condola could have been dating as well, right?
Yeah, why not?
By all means, why not? They're not even together.
Right. It's not a double standard on the dating.
No, have you not seen it? I mean, like I ain't gonna say like it's normal because most people, but
Yeah,
there
I
have
haven't seen
been
a pregnant woman dating. I don't know if I've seen that.
no, I've seen pregnant women dating somebody other than the person that got them pregnant. Like something happened with the baby daddy, and then
Mhm.
4 months down the line, somebody else like, yo, I like you. I don't care if you're pregnant. I'll take care of the baby myself. You know, whatever. Like, and then they start dating.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm just saying that that's not completely out of the ordinary. And there's no if he made up in his mind that he didn't want anything to do with Condola or that baby, and then the baby came.
What that baby?
And then he changed. But he still was like, yo, when I'm in LA, I'll be on daddy mode. When I'm in San Francisco, I'm on Lawrence mode. And that's
no, sir. No, sir.
Like he ain't trying to do no face like he
so
face
here,
the baby. Like,
so
nothing.
here's the thing. So when it comes, so one, there was a poll saying, would you rather have a absentee father or inconsistent father? And majority of people selected absentee because you eliminate the disappointment that comes with an inconsistent father. And I think that plays into what we're seeing with Lawrence. Like, if he were to just remove himself from this wouldn't be an issue. But obviously, for the show purposes on how we're progressing, we needed to see him be an inconsistent father to be where we are. But to follow up to that point, I just hate to see. I think he's doing what he has to do, and I think to Tim's point, it was the first day, and it was a in the moment kind of thing, and I don't see anything wrong with him going to be there for the baby being born. I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, the only thing that's wrong with it is that he probably didn't. Well, obviously, he didn't let her know that he wanted to be there when the baby was born because he didn't get notified until the whole
time.
So
I just think that's just you already.
I think it's starting a pattern early.
You already gave the answer of I'm not trying to be here. So now you want to pop up after I just pushed something out of my vagina. You just want to pop up.
Hotness.
No, but like it's setting a pattern. Like you're gonna pop up when a baby is born. You're gonna pop up when it needs to be christened. Like you're gonna pop up at a birthday. Like you're gonna pop up at these milestones. And maybe not be there in between.
Pop goes the week.
I'm only popping up because nobody's communicating. If you got the plan and you ain't communicating to me, I got to pop up.
You didn't want to be a part of it, so why
things change just like a baby?
And she did fit him in the pants, and then he canceled. So it's like it's only when it's convenient for him. So
you're saying
I'm not arguing it.
He needs to figure out before he tries to before he's trying to date, before he's trying to be a father. Figure out who you want to be. Like that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
like,
wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
Gabby, I think you two hung up on him dating. Let that man.
I'm just saying. I'm hung up on him figuring out who he wants to be. Like you really can't in the beginning stages to date someone and be a father to in a relationship, a co-parenting relationship that you're figuring out. That's a lot to put on somebody.
It's pretty easy.
People do it. But
it's been done every day.
That's too deep for y'all, but whatever.
No, it's not because I did it, so I know. This is why I'm like I
I don't know what your process was with that and what.
If you have no intentions on getting back with the baby mama, and your only intention is to be a father to that child, you can have a romantic relationship with something else. That's not going to. That's not going to take your attention away from the child. But you just said you don't want them to.
It's time for it. Right now, your focus is elsewhere. It should be elsewhere. You need to figure out what you're doing in your co-parenting. Because to bring somebody into that messy situation, like.
Well, you only get brought into it if you want to get brought into it. Now, I don't think he told the girl on the first. He told the girl on the date the baby being born.
Okay.
If you want to be around for the baby, be around for the baby. If not, I'm going.
it must be nice to be a man. Like it must be really nice to be a man.
All right.
Like
So this is what I'm going to get into right now. What Casey just said. So as you can see, and this has been a constant issue with me and my daughter's mother, of the freedom that a man gets in a co-parenting situation, because he can remove himself, or like, let's say, like, you know, he's there every day. Like, I'm there every day for my daughter, but I come to my house after everything. And then it's like, oh yeah, well, once she's sleeping, you could literally go out and get drunk all night. You could go, you know, go on a date after this. You could do whatever you want. But a mother can't do that, because the baby is there with the mother. Now, and
can
Slim,
a mother not do that, or would a mother not do that? I mean, I think a mother could do that.
And I think,
but how? But how? In what sense? If
Allow the
if
father
baby,
to have the baby.
Yeah, like
no. Yes, but on a majority of the time, when with where the baby lives is what I'm saying.
I'm saying like that role could be reversed though.
On a majority, yes, but is that really the case on majority of the time?
No, of course not.
Majority of the time, the baby's staying with the mother. So now it's a, hey, you know, the dad comes there, says hi, does whatever he got to do. Then he goes home, and then he could do whatever he wants. But the mother, there is no like, and I think it goes to when Lawrence canceled his flight, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm tired, like work has been crazy, I can't make it. That is not an available option for a mother. There is no day where a mother can wake up and be like, oh, nah, I'm tired. I don't got it. That baby's just gonna just keep screaming. You got it. Figure it out.
I ain't got it today, coach. Put somebody else in.
Roll out the crib and feed yourself. No,
but then on the opposite side of it though, like they can't do that. But then when there's help that's trying to be provided, like if the father's trying to take the baby out the hands, like in the episode, like, and you then turn and deny that, how can you then complain about the situation when like this is like personal, like preference at that point? You feel what I'm saying?
The point.
KJ, go ahead, because
it's a privilege to be a man. No, it is. No. I'm not. No, listen. I'm not going at that level of argument. I'm not there. But
that's not an argument.
That sentence.
No, listen, what I'm saying.
We're there.
But that's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm only talking about specifically. I'm not talking about the bigger issues of life. I'm talking about specifically just an alternative perspective of
the results of them.
In this episode, she legitimately had an opportunity as to where she could have let the father have the baby, and she could have done whatever she wanted to do in that moment in time with her life. She could have went on a date. She could have done whatever she wanted to do, but she chose instead, because of her not having trust in him for whatever reasons that are valid. That's her, but she chose that. She could also have chose not to do that.
Think of her child first right now. Which
I understand that, but that's still a choice. That's the only point I'm making.
It's still a choice to think of your child first.
Yes, because some people would have been like, okay, I don't care if he's fussy. Take this child away from me.
Right.
Like you've seen
people do it all the time.
Mothers. Some people have done that. Yes or no?
Yeah. That's your problem.
No, for sure. But I think so.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. He's yours. I'm out of here. Like that happens.
All the time.
That happens. So, but she decided, I'm not comfortable right now in doing
She said, I don't trust you.
She said, I don't trust you.
She said.
So, but if it was
Lawrence
like,
ever watched that baby before?
Whoa,
has Lawrence ever been alone with the baby?
Why?
No, exactly. That's what we're saying. Like we can
I think
Lawrence could have done a lot more for that, but he didn't, and so we understand why there is mistrust. What we're saying is the opportunity was there for her to make another decision. That's
why I say it's a privilege to be a man, because yes, she had the opportunity to take some time off and to have her like to just really do something for herself. But in that choice, it was like, I could be selfish and do something for me, or I had to think, is my child actually in good hands? Can they take care of the person? So that's why I say
who are you to decide that?
But you have this choice now. Like you have a choice. It's a little green lighting to be like, oh, well, you have a choice. Like somebody can come take care of it for you. Somebody who's never been alone with your child is going to take them overnight and just like you're just going to hope that everything's okay. The baby's in a bad mood, and you're like, nah, I don't feel it.
Until it happens, it's always going to be the first. Never happens. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to go overnight.
You didn't even want this baby.
You agreed for him to take him overnight, though. This wasn't a new thing.
You agreed. They planned on this. He was supposed to be taking the baby.
It's for his first time doing it. So if the baby would have been,
she doesn't feel comfortable. Like, I don't think this is a good idea.
But you can't use the excuse of the him never doing it before if you don't ever allow it to happen.
Right. Because
why hasn't he tried to do it before 4 months?
Tried to make it like you don't even try.
Your baby been here 4 months. This is the first time you want to like hang out with him one by one.
Like I said, we are putting things into evidence that we don't know have happened. We are all assuming.
Right.
We're just assuming that, and I think those are good assumptions from the way that she acted. I think those are good assumptions that he hasn't spent that much time alone with the child. Understand that, but she also decided that hey, this would be a good time for y'all to have an overnight thing. If she didn't never wanted to do that, she just could have said no from the jump. You know what? I don't want you.
If we pay attention to those text messages, she said sure. Period. That shit is like when a girl says it's fine. When they say it's fine, we know that it's not fine. So her saying sure with the period, I said, oh yeah, nah, she don't mean that. She really don't mean that. She don't trust them. But I think the way you're saying is, like to Tim's point with how is Lawrence going to get any type of experience with the baby if you just keep saying no, is the same way we've been fighting for, well, how can I get any experience in the workplace if you're not giving me the opportunity? Like, I went to school for all this time, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is what I did. This was
where has Lawrence been to school requirements. Where did Lawrence go to school at?
No.
I think
they're denying him entry into the school of the parents.
We're saying that he didn't go to school.
He don't have a degree. He is not qualified to do this job.
And he wasn't qualified to do it when you agreed.
No one is
when you're a parent. You're never qualified.
The mom can more.
No, not even the mothers are qualified.
No.
No parent is qualified.
Can we take gender out?
We got it right here. So
I said no parent. I said no parent is qualified. No parent.
I think that's fair, but I think one becomes more qualified the more time you spend. So I think
how can the other become?
We're not saying Lawrence isn't qualified because he's not. I'm not saying he's not qualified because he's not a mother. I'm saying he's not qualified because he ain't been there.
But she controls the time.
And I'm saying I agree with that. And even Condola, not called by a real name, even she knew that and still agreed to let the child go overnight.
Right.
If she didn't want him to do that, she could have said,
because
no, I'm not comfortable.
To my point of she wanted him to stay. She got him to the place.
No, still not agreeing with that.
He had it. You can stay here. You can stay here. All you gotta do is say it. Just say it. Because sometimes you don't
Tim.
say it. But if you just say it,
rolling.
I will agree. Condola was passive aggressive. Like she did not say what she meant in that time. That is true. That is true. However, I think what is done sometimes that we don't take in consideration all that she's been through in the past 4 months. Which is why they had that split. Wait, Jamal. Which is why they had that split screen. And it's just like, yes, I'm being passive aggressive. I'm moody. I'm going through all these things because this has been my life for the past 4 months. Like I don't think we give it context. It's just like, oh well, she should have said something. It's just like, yes, it would be lovely if she was able to perfectly communicate in that moment. However, can you take into account her past 4 months and Lawrence's past 4 months in building up this tech company? There are a lot of things that go into that passive aggressive communication. Yes. However, it's still not right.
No, it's not right.
The communication needed
it's not
to
right,
be,
but it's okay.
You know what, Jamal?
I'm
Go
going
somewhere. Go somewhere. Go somewhere with that.
Pack your bag.
The communication should have been, hey, listen, I think I need to feel more comfortable with you being around him and understanding everything before I let you take him for the night. Not sure, period.
And
Like,
even before that,
Cool.
if we
Can we
go
hold
back,
Lawrence to those same standards? Because Lawrence is only worried
understandable.
about looking like a bad dad right now. He's
Exactly.
not
Listen.
communicating that, hey, I feel a little insecure that I don't know how to take care of my child, and you're not making me feel comfortable in this situation, so can we find something out? So we're going to ask Condola to communicate very clearly that we need to ask Lawrence to grow up and do the same thing.
Exactly. Completely agree with you on that. Completely agree with you on that. He should grow the fuck up. But he has tried. Like, remember at the christening, he said, "Hey, for the holidays,"
It's probably a single parent.
he said, "For the holidays, can we figure this thing out to where y'all come over? We do something big. He spends a week with your people, with my people, because my folks want to hang out with him." Like, he was trying to set some things up, and Condola kept pushing them to the side.
I think
Gabby,
that
when we get there, we'll figure that out when we get there.
She like, we'll figure it out, but she didn't look too enthused. You know what I'm saying?
Because
That's
that's
also-
not
that's
there.
also a-
Why would she be? Why would she
That's
be?
also
I think
that's
we're
also a
expecting lot from
sidebar.
Condola as someone who's. Go ahead, Ralph.
No, I think that's a sidebar. I don't think that's that's when he said it. I don't think that was the time and place for that conversation to be like, oh yeah, we should do like this or whatever. That's hey, let me have this conversation with you. I think this would be a good idea if we did this with the families, instead of like embarrassing yourself. Like, that should have been a separate conversation.
And also that, and part of it is, like I said, there's a support system around it. Once you like, I look at Justin and Alex, like they had a team of people around them when Justice was born. My mama, Alex's mama, aunts, church aunts, everybody there. So it wasn't type of issue if me and Alex. So if they wanted to go out for dinner or something, we can come over there and watch them real for a couple of hours, do whatever. There is some distrust to Lawrence's support system, which makes me think that his side of the family has nothing to do with their baby. Because if his side of the family had something to do with their baby, she wouldn't have had an issue with Lawrence getting it, because she would have known his mom is going to be over there or some other people going to be over there to help him figure this thing out. So that's the whole part of it. So it's almost like a circle.
But do we also see Condola's father is not there either? So she might have some daddy issues.
Get deep in that.
Come on, peeping the game.
She done like reached back in this thing. Reach back on him. All right, so real quick, since we've been on here for an hour, I pulled up. Obviously, I've been on Twitter all day, and I pulled up some of my favorite tweets about this. And I just want to get some of y'all. A lot of them are anti-Condola, so just let you know.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, here we go. Oh God.
We got Condola complaining like she didn't choose to have a baby with her rebound. And then Prentice Penny, the showrunner, wrote, "We really wanted to test Condola saying last season, 'I don't need you. Be involved as much or as little as you want' in this episode. This episode was about saying, be careful what you wish for. It's not honest. And also Lawrence needing to own his part. Like Lawrence needing to step up and own his part." And then here's one that says, "Condolences, divorced a man because she didn't want kids, then decided to have a baby with Lawrence, a random man she had no intention of taking seriously, then proceeded to box him out, and now she's acting like he's somehow forced single motherhood on her." All of these are black women, by the way, except Prentice, who
I'll pray for them. They need help.
This. And he says,
I think that last point is fantastic. I'm not gonna lie.
It is.
And that's the disconnect. The dude says fantastic, and the girls are like, nah, fuck that.
I mean, that's a really great point.
It's limiting someone. You're not giving someone the chance to evolve and change their choices. If you don't have a baby at 30 and you don't have one at 35, cool. You've lived your life. You have the right to change your mind.
Oh, so he can change his mind if he want to be in the baby's life or not.
No, you have the right to change your mind about your choices, my nigga. Yours.
So can we
not
change?
Something that affects a child. Condola changed what she wanted for her life. Lawrence changed everything for his life and that baby's life. So no.
You know who's the one who should have moved out of LA? Condola. She should have moved out of LA. She should have took the baby and left.
She got
and the show would have been fine.
And the show would have been fine. Would have been better off without him.
You get this big-eared baby on the first thing east. What's another one? And another thing, why was Condolences so hyped to go to this baby's party with Lawrence to play house with him if she really despised him? She wanted Issa to see them there. And then it says, nah, she played stupid games and won stupid prizes. She got exactly what she said she wanted. Fucked around and found out that she didn't want it though. And yeah, so those are some things that I say. And to end it, go ahead, Raph.
Wait. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to touch on because I know we've been like getting deep, but like the comedic aspect of this episode was really fantastic. Lawrence's uncle with the $5 bill and like his comments
Teach 'em how to
were
swim.
fantastic.
Bro.
And then Kelly, of course, like
Angel
Kelly-
among demons.
Yes, yo, so great. Like she is just, oh man, she is perfect. Honestly, like she does her job to a T. And of course Chad, because Chad never misses. I do disagree with Derek. And when he pulled Lawrence to the side and was saying like what he said, like I get it. Like he was like, oh, listen, you know that this stuff is toxic, whatever. Like that's bad for the baby and stuff like that. But to Lawrence's point, what he said, y'all are married. It's
Right.
a completely different ball game.
Right.
Y'all gotta figure this out. We not together. Like we don't like each other like that for us to like kind of be on a real like team and like each other and respect each other. Yes, we have to do what's right for the baby, but like he's tired of the bullshit. Like that's some real bullshit. Like stop trying to embarrass me in front of like mixed company. Like yo, if you're gonna talk to me on the side, like hey, listen, like we could talk about that later, but like the baby's fine right now.
Do
After
you think
the
she
party,
was trying to
that's it.
embarrass him? Or do you think she was concerned about the baby? Which is why I keep asking, who is this about?
Her anxiety was just ridiculous the whole episode.
It
You
was.
could feel it.
And because the reasoning
I
that
wonder
she
why.
made, the reasoning that she had doesn't make sense anyway. She's like, well, I don't want to. I wasn't introducing solids to him. Okay, cool. We don't know what he's allergic to. You don't know what he's allergic to anyway already. So like, you're gonna figure that
And
shit
the
out.
only way you actually find that out
by
is
giving him
if you
solid
try.
food. So like,
It's the only way.
If you waited 2 months from that moment to give him solid foods, it still could be something he's fucking allergic to. So
This is true.
Babies
whatever.
can take
This is all
allergy
true.
I-
No,
Didn't they? No, I don't know.
Mhm.
You talking to the parent right there.
No.
So I mean, like, there you go. And also, if that was the plan, we're going to introduce solids at 6 months instead of 4. Tell them that.
Well, why would you tell somebody that who's not been involved? Jamal, why would I tell you my schedule for the rest of the week when you're not usually involved for my schedule for the rest of the week? You don't need to know what my doctor's appointments are because you're not
If
here.
you wanted to know, I mean, like, if you just wanted, you know what, this might not even have nothing to do with you, but
no. Why is all the
if you-
responsibility placed on Condola? Why
'Cause
isn't
she-
Lawrence being asked to do anything? Why is everything being
How-
placed on the woman who already has all the responsibility? I don't understand.
because she's the sole
Because she's a woman.
caretaker.
She's a woman.
No.
No.
Because she's a sole
It's
caretaker.
because she has the baby.
She's a sole caretaker. Like if that was
This
a
is what I'm
dude
saying.
who didn't do the same
So,
thing,
like-
it'd be different. It wouldn't be no different. We would say, yo, talk to somebody, let somebody know.
I don't know who here has actually seen. So this is, Keisha, listen, I understand your frustrations with this conversation.
I'm so confused right now. Please help.
But I want you to understand it. So like I think so when I just watched the episode again with my daughter's mother, and she was like, listen, the sooner that dads understand that they will never be on the exact same level as a mother, that's where we can start the conversation. Because they never have the same responsibilities as the mother. They never will. But to my point, I think that's why that's why they were always, as dads, we're always like, hey, and then we ask the question to the mother. Like if we don't know, that's our go-to. And I don't know how many people have seen.
I just say it's like she's a sole caretaker. She was a primary caretaker of the child.
No, I agree with your point. But I think what also happens in this situation is, I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Fatherhood with Kevin Hart, but like that's where it happens to where you have to be like, as a dad, there is no like, hey, who do I ask now? Like, who do I defer to in certain situations? It's like now it's Yeah, you are the mother. And now that's where you get the full aspect of what a mother actually goes through. And where do fathers, single fathers, who the mother is not in the life, who do they defer to? Their mother. Because it's who took care of them and who knows best. So
Man, that boy preaching. This thing went out. They hating on you, my boy. The Wi-Fi went out.
Can I say something? Okay, but again, I will say I think this is a pride issue on Lawrence's standpoint, because like if I go to church and there's a kid there, before I give a kid a piece of candy, I'm asking his mother or her mother, can they have this candy?
Oh,
so for Lawrence not even saying, hey, I have not been around my child, I don't know what my child eats. Let me think and ask my 4-month-old. Let me ask his mother before I feed him something that he can't have. So the fact that we're just kind of like removing Lawrence from any responsibility and asking what his child can eat is wild. Because I will ask a 5-year-old's mother what they can eat, because I don't know, because I don't be there and Lawrence don't be there.
But this is what I was saying when it comes to, and yes, you're not a parent, but like that maternal thing, it does not exist in fathers. Like we don't get that. That does not come when the
So
baby
use your
is born.
resources.
It doesn't. It's just.
Yes.
It's. Huh?
I said, so why didn't he use his resources and just ask her before he did
Because
it?
in his mind, based off of
It's
the
not-
information that he had, he didn't think it was that big of a deal, and so it happened. And he's just like, oh, okay, I learned it. That's what happened. It's not like it's nothing you can do about it now. It's already done. And
For
he,
us,
you know what I'm saying? Like let's move on. Let's register this. I've learned this lesson. Let's move on.
Did you
for
really
us,
though?
it's
Did you
more.
next
It's
time
more
you
of a
actually
trial and
ask?
error. It
Are
is
you
more
gonna
of a
ask?
trial and
We
error.
Kill the
from a
baby
father.
first.
do that.
It was a joke. It was a terrible joke.
Sorry.
Terrible joke. What do you say, Gabby?
I'm just saying, like, he should. I mean, you're saying, you know, okay, we learn from it, like, move on from that. So next time, are you going to ask, like, do you understand how serious this could have been? Like, you don't take into account all of the things that could happen. That's why I don't trust you around my kid. Did you really don't?
Again,
if y'all just harp on that,
you have to communicate that and then move forward, because holding that does nothing.
and that's what happens. It's I'm holding on to this now. Slim, we're live. Slim, we're live. We're live.
Carl Anthony Towns just hit a half court 3 to send the game to overtime.
But what I'm saying is the harping on it is the problem. Right. Is the baby is okay. We are here now. It happened. Did
she give Lawrence?
How do we move on from here? Like, let's have that conversation. That's fine. But like, don't harp on it. Now it's like, I don't trust you. That's it. Give me my baby back.
Did she give Lawrence, or does she owe Lawrence the grace to make a mistake when it comes?
Everybody needs grace. So
raising a child. And whether that's her own biases, whether that's because Lawrence has taken his grace away, which we haven't seen, or just by his actions there's not being grace there, does she owe him said grace and sometimes making some mistakes?
I don't think we're going to see this the same, because like, you just don't have time for trial and error with a child. I mean, I'm so sorry. I can't.
It is though, Gabby. That's every day. That's all it is.
That's like, literally raising a child.
That's what a child
is.
This is Gabby. Your life as an adult is trial and error. It's the same thing.
But no, listen, because even if as a dad, like, say you let the child go with the mom and something happened, like, it's natural for the person to put guilt on whoever the child was with, to put guilt on them of like, why did this happen to my child? So, I mean, all she's doing as a mom is just trying to protect her child, is trying to make sure that her child is with someone that she can trust, and she does not trust Lawrence. And there's a valid reason.
Get that, but like you can't gain trust unless you communicate what the issue is. That person has a chance to learn, and then has a chance to then execute in real time again. You can't stay in the same place.
You have two different points. You have two different points, Gabby. The one point is obviously there's no trust there, but the point about raising a child, you can't do trial and error with a child. That's just patently false. Like that, You can ask any parent in the world about how they do that. They do it when they give them cereal, and how hot the thing's supposed to be, all this other stuff. That's all of that is trial and error. Like if that at some point she burnt their baby mouth because she gave him a too hot bottle. Then what happens? I know not to make it so hot next time. Trial and error. If Lawrence did that, she jumping down Lawrence's throat. Now, granted, because he ain't around the baby, understandable, get it. But trial and error, that's just part of it. You can't make it blanket.
See, I need to see Condola make a mistake. That's what I need to see. When she makes a mistake, now how are we seeing it on that side from Lawrence's view? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you think it should be fair?
Because it's not. Well, I think it should be. I don't want Lawrence jumping down her throat.
I don't think, I don't think Lawrence is jumping down her throat.
But that's now. How would you see that? Because I've been in those situations. Now I make mistakes, and I get my ass chewed out all the time. But then when she makes a mistake, I'll be like, oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I mean, you got it for next time. But I don't get no credit for that. For being a fucking grown up and acting accordingly. But like, this is what I'm saying. You're it can't be just one way and the other.
But I think here the thing was like I need to go back and watch it for a second time. I think saying that she jumped down his throat is a lot when she was concerned for her child. I think she was just like, what the fuck? What happened? This is not what we're doing. This is not where we're at. And there was a lot of anxiety and concern there. I think my mind goes to more of Lawrence's pride and insecurity around the father and not wanting to be corrected. Because it wasn't like Lawrence kind of brushed it off. And from my perspective, it felt like she was just trying to be like, yeah, no, this is serious. Like, I need you to take this serious and understand what's happening. And then from there, it blew up because Lawrence was just like, calm down. You're making this, like, he was just like, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Lawrence just wants to be seen as a good dad, but he doesn't want to. He's the one you might tell him what to do.
He wants his public perception of being a father because he think people already think he a deadbeat anyway because he went there for the pregnancy. So he's trying to make up for that in that process. But the thing about
I don't feel like he was receptive. From my perspective, I don't feel like he was receptive to what she was saying because it went against his whole "I'm a good dad." Well, I'm here. I think he said, "I'm here." Okay.
He wants the credit. He had good black man syndrome.
He said to the baby, she was like, oh, what's that on his face? He was like, oh, yeah, there was some stuff that it was just mushy. So then it went into we're waiting an extra 2 months. And then he was like, yeah, I mean, it happened, but we're good now. And then he looked at the kid and he was like, oh, we're good now, right? We're good. And she said, oh, you think this is a joke? That's what I'm talking about, jumping down the throat. He did not think it was a joke. He was calm. And she took it here by saying, oh, you think this is a joke? Who the fuck said it was a joke? Did he say something that he was like, did he say anything to her that it was a fucking joke? It wasn't a joke. But also, she took it there. And that's what I'm saying. She jumped down his throat.
To play a little,
that's her fucking fault.
Put a little support on my boy. Now, granted, if she hadn't communicated about the solid food plan, obviously he had been paying attention in some of the doctor's appointments or reading some books or things because he knew after 4 months you should be able to eat solids. So maybe he was doing some research. Maybe he was reading some baby books on those flights. You never know
about his baby.
But it's in general. It's a general thing.
Did he know about his baby?
Is that his baby? Is that his baby? He calls it Ja, man. The baby name is Elijah.
I can't.
The baby name is Elijah. Let's get out of here. So we've been talking about this shit for an hour and 20 minutes.
This has been great.
Before we go, I want to show y'all my favorite names that I've seen for Condola. Obviously, you got condolences. You got Corona. You got Carabina, which is a good one. Condone, Condoleezza, Calabasas, Contessa, Condominium, Condemnation, and Condensation. No, Condensation might be the best one because she out here crying and shit all the time. Crying.
Did anybody watch the Wind Down or no?
Yeah,
I watched it. So
I'm really happy that she actually went through a real pregnancy.
Yeah.
While like this was happening, it really helped play the part. She was actually tired. She knew all of like it wasn't just acting. It was really like, oh, I've been through this, so it was very easy for her to kind of portray that on the screen.
You could feel it. You really could feel it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Even about like the anxieties and stuff. It was like this
Yeah.
is it felt so real. I hadn't felt anxiety come off a screen like that and it not be real life. Like I don't know if ever, but it was like dang, like sheesh. She was that was real deal. That was real deal.
Absolutely.
All right. Any ideas or hopes? This is a great conversation, guys. Obviously, this is like Battle of the Sexes. We won't see much. Gabby over there looking sad. Because we disagree a little bit. Next episode this is Issa and Nathan, running guy, the guy who runs from things. Episode about him.
I was like, wait, what?
And Issa makes the joke. I wonder if he liked the way my tears tasted. I don't know what to expect from that. I don't know if anything.
I just need to know where it fits in the timeline.
Timeline.
Like I think that's my biggest issue. So I wasn't a fan of the first 2 episodes only because I feel like we're missing that. I mean, the episodes themselves were good, but like I'm missing such a patch of things. Like we started at Stanford, and it's like, oh, Molly and Issa are talking like that. Like I need to know exactly what happened in the middle, and I'm still hoping that we're like the same way that this episode went back and picked it up from that Lawrence drop off. I hope that we get that kind of pushback and fill in all the holes, because I know in previous seasons they've been good at that, but I had a real issue with the first 2 episodes, and I was like, yeah, I don't want it to be like extra choppy, and especially for this being the last season.
Who's more trash? Who's more trash, Molly or Lawrence?
As of today.
As of
no, you're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're not doing this.
After last night's episode,
Lawrence.
No.
Lawrence.
Molly has been trash for 3 seasons. So
Lawrence has too. He's just a better chameleon.
Yeah, that was our whole argument the other season.
Tapping in on this one. I'm not even tapping in on this one.
Yeah, I'm not joining in this conversation. I'm good.
We gotta get off on this one.
Lawrence is trash. Lawrence is the trashiest right now. And as the president of Team Fuck Molly, that's a lot for me to say.
I can't believe you said that.
Because like you've been on the Lawrence. You're the president. You're the president and CEO of Lawrence Trash Incorporated. You've been the president and CEO of that since like season 1. So like,
so is Molly is trash a subsidiary of Lawrence is trash?
I think so. I think that's like a baby company, incubated company that you launched out of.
No way.
Lawrence is Trash LLC. That's the nonprofit side of things. Molly is trash. Yeah. That's for the women. Trash.
Molly is trash is the revenue
gender equity version. That's what that
Molly.
I think you started with Lawrence.
He's a recycle. Lawrence is trash.
Lawrence is trash.
Molly is trash. Is the revenue generating side. Lawrence is trash. It's the community engagement nonprofit side. For young black dudes who want to get in tech.
It's about that time.
Lawrence is trash. Y'all are crazy. Lawrence is trash.
All right, good people. We're gonna end it on that note. Thank y'all for watching. It's been a good hour and 30 minutes. This actually does pretty good on YouTube. We get like 25 viewers over the week. There you go. We don't even promote it. It just be people searching Insecure and they watch our shit. So there you go. And we will catch you guys next week. Maybe by next week, the baby will be a teenager. We ain't got to worry about it.
Oh, my Lord. So, give us some This Is Us.
Oh, my God. If we do the This Is Us recap, nigga, we'd be arguing.
Could we do that? People would be crying on here, man.
Be crying.
I do not watch that. So I'm
crying. Good. Randall will have me in tears every night, every Monday night. All right.
Okay.
Peace, guys.
All right, people. Love you.
Peace out.
Yep.
Bye, y'all.
How do I get out of here?
Peace.
Just say leave studio, I think.